Welcome everyone. This presentation is going to describe an overview of PowerPoint. I have a PowerPoint presentation open on the screen, and I want to first talk about the different types of panes. What you see in front of you is the slide pane, which is the pane in which you really work on each slide individually. On the left-hand side, you have thumbnails, which just give you a small representation of each slide. You can click on the various slides. We could click, hold, and drag to move slides into different orders. And using the thumbnail, it's just a really quick way to quickly look at each slide. That's the thumbnail slide. What is not visible is the note pane. To see the note pane, you can click on View Notes, and so what you add down here on your note pane are just some refresher notes that you want to describe about this slide when you're actually presenting the slide itself. Another way to turn the note pane on and off is just also click the Notes button down here on your status bar. So I'm just going to turn it off and then turn it back on. Either way works. Now, when we have also on the status bar are various different views. We are currently looking at normal view. We can change to slide sorter view. This gives you a different type of thumbnail approach to the slides. And again, you can use this to move slides to different areas, or just quickly look at all the slides overall. We have reading view, which just is very much like the reading view in Word, in which you can take a look and it just gives you a better way to read the slides. And the last slide, I'll go back to normal view, is the actual slide presentation slideshow, in which we're going to go through each slide as we're talking, and at any time you want to end the slideshow view, you just press Escape on your keyboard. Now, let's add a new slide. So if you go to your Home ribbon and click New Slide, what's nice about PowerPoint is it suggests different layouts for what type of slides you want to add. So I'm going to choose the comparison layout. What the comparison layout does has provided me with different placeholders. Let me go back to slide 1 first and talk about placeholders. We have 3 placeholders here. We have a placeholder here, which you can see is a drawing tool, so it's a text box. And when we click on that placeholder, we get the drawing tools ribbon. We have a little text box here. Again, we have the drawing tools ribbon in which we can format that placeholder. And off to the right over here, we have a picture in which we now get a picture tools ribbon where we can format that picture. All right, back to the new slide. When we have different title or text box areas in which you can click and enter text, but we also have what are called content holders. And in a content holder, this comparison layout provides you with 2. Here's a quick way that you can insert a table, and a table just organizes information into columns and rows. You can insert a chart, which gives you a visual display of your data. You can add a smart art graphic. This is really good if you want to look at a process or a cycle or hierarchy diagram. It just is a different way to visually look at data. We can insert pictures. It's our own photographs or other images that we have downloaded. You can go to the Bing Research or OneDrive and find online pictures. And lastly, it allows us to insert a video. So that's your content holder. If you want to change the size of a placeholder, you can do that various ways. One way is you can drag, get your mouse on one of the sizing handles. The mouse changes to a double-headed arrow and you can drag it. Or you can actually use the Drawing Tools Format tab and actually change the height to an actual 2.8, and let's go 8.5. So you can make it very specific. Lastly, I want to talk about the do's and don'ts of a PowerPoint. So when you're looking to create a PowerPoint, make sure you look at the slides overall and make sure they're sort of balanced. Don't crowd the elements together. Make sure the slides flow together. You're going to later add animation, so don't go wild with the different animations. If you're going to choose one animation, it should be followed through all your different slides. If you want something to stand out, make one item larger than your other item. And it's a good idea to repeat the same design. Don't change one slide's background to bright yellow, green, and so forth. They all should have the same type of theme. So use the PowerPoint's color themes. Don't use don't use different colors all over the place. When you're creating text, this is almost like right here, a little bit too much text. You have 3 bullet points. Make sure the bullet points are really short words. The rule of thumb is 7-7. No more than 7 bullets and no more than 7 words in each bullet. Use large fonts so it's easy to see. Don't change this to 10 point. Let's hold on, excuse me. You won't be able to see it. So if we make it 10 point, 9 point, look, you can barely see that. All right, so don't change the font to something small. Animate important items that you want to emphasize. So you can add a boomerang or a part of your slide to emphasize, to come out. And that will animate an important emphasis. Don't animate every single element on the slide, though. Okay? Keep the number of slides to a minimum. You're going to practice your presentation, so make sure you time it. Don't give a 40 slide presentation in 10 minutes. And lastly, rehearse your presentation. Don't read the slides word for word. Use your note panes that you can sit here and add a couple notes down here and to make sure you're covering the material you want to cover. This is an overview of PowerPoint. Thank you very much.